What's up guys, Artil Boy here. Today we'll be doing another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Gerber profile drop point. So let's begin. Yes, I'm going to tell you a story about that whole situation. So in 2010, I had the money to buy a certain piece. Yeah, the Buck 119. You know, it was like 40 bucks. So I decided to want to get this, but my father says that it's too big. So they decided to picking this guy instead. And the funny part about it out there is it's slightly smaller. Yeah. Which, yeah, kind of funny about that one. Yeah. Basically got this instead of this. In fact, I actually bought this in 2014 before it basically rises up to $70, which that guy will be in another review. That review will be later down the line. So, sheath wise, now the sheath out there is basically made of nylon with the Gerber on there. This is actually the old variant. Now, you can't find this piece in stores out there, believe it or not. Yeah, you can't really find that. With a snap-on button. Actually, funny part about it is, let me just show this out, so, it's not really that secured out there. Yeah, it could, you can actually know for a fact, when I was basically taking care of work out there while having this around, and it turns out when I was basically trying to take this piece off out of my belt, it turns out this thing was missing. So I decided to walk around, and it turns out it was in the mud, in the dirt. So I cleaned this up out there, and that's about it. Yeah, it's not really that secured out there. So let's talk about the piece itself. Now, it's basically rubberized handle. It's a rubberized handle with a stainless steel blade out there. Also I have the Gerber on there. So let's get to the size of the blade itself. Now, the size of the blade out there is basically actually the blade length is 3.5 inches. The piece of steel, the whole blade is basically basically 4 inches. The handle itself is basically almost to 5 inches. See right here. But the overall piece, let's take that out. It's almost 9 inches. With a little hole so you can actually put paracord on there so you won't lose this guy. So let's test this bad boy out. So the results out there is, now this one's actually pretty clean, like pretty clean on this one. You know, for the bottle itself, it actually, yeah, it does definitely need a couple strikes. Like, probably something that would be hanging up. And then basically the blade itself, pretty sharp. And it actually cuts through it perfectly well. Then we get to the territory of the harder plastic, which it didn't cut through it, but it did have the edge of, you know, actually taking care of it. I mean, you could probably see that. Yes. You could probably, yeah, that was. And then the chopping, which of course it didn't went through it. I mean, that was one of the strikes without, you know, me cutting the thing. See, it could potentially could cut through it. Of course, the knife edge basically really what seals the deal about it. Yeah, I know that sounds like cheating and all, but the thing is, like, if they can actually cut through something like that, like it's, which is rather insane. And here's the, like, the strike onto the deal itself, like you can probably know. That's, I think that one didn't, like, I didn't strike it pretty good. Yeah, you probably don't know. So, as you could definitely know, it's a not bad piece. So, my final verdict rating on the Gerber profile is astounding of a 9 out of 10. Now, this one is the one I actually used the most, if you believe it or not, right before I've actually gotten into, like, other knives that are actually better. You know, things like the K-bars, the zombie tools, the buck knives. Yeah, this was the one I had, you know, perfectly a knife that I've used a lot, which you could probably all know for that one. As you could definitely know, it's a not bad piece. Yeah, the sheath itself, or the button, is a complete joke. I mean, it's, yeah, you could probably know that, like, I think last year, believe it or not, you know, before I got the Gerber Prodigy, I was basically, like, walking around, you know, doing some work around, and until I realized the knife was basically completely missing. Like, it was, like, completely missing, and I was just only left with a sheath. So I decided to walk around and found out that this thing fell off. Yeah, because the sheath, the button to it's basically kind of somehow went off of all things. Yeah. So if I could wish it. Oh, there it is. Like, you could pretty much have this basically taken off quickly, which it kind of sucks. So this thing was, like, covered in dirt and mud and all. So I don't know if they make these anymore. I don't know, but I could definitely know is they probably, what they need to be doing is making the sheath a little bit or a little better, or rather the button itself, because, you know, that thing was completely loose. So that wraps up the Gerber profile. I'm Martell Boy, and I'm signing out. I'll see you guys next time.